Hey there, welcome back guys to Everything That Glitches. We're back, we're live, but as you know, before we make sure we're live, we need to see that we are live. Forget about losing the video feed. There have been times where I thought I was live and there was no audio. Can't make that stuff up, but I'm gonna go over, since we answered your questions. I'm glad we were able to help you. One of our viewers / new subscribers wanted to know where they keep the sticks, so we showed them. It's just a little, tricky that way, but hopefully that works out to you and you have that video and the other ones that I left in the link that are in the comments suggestions. So just look for that too. But again, I just need to see my live feed before I'm glad we were able to help you, one of our viewers. I just need to hear my voice, and now I know we are good to go. So we had answered some questions for some people. I just want to make sure that we covered all of them. Hold on one second. Whoops. All right. So we're just going to go here, new tab, and go back to the channel. These were some of the questions that we had. Just going to shrink myself into a little window because there's really no need to have me so big, because remember, this show is about you. Knowing that, moving forward, we're just going to shrink that. Now I can add another camera without the show crashing, if that makes any sense. Just need to add it, and voila. See, there I am. So in the perfect world, that's what you should be able to do, but unfortunately it just didn't work out that way. Something happened during the live feed. Could have been because I was playing a game and eating up the processor, but this is where we left off in the show. Someone asking, I started flying without a simulator and everything worked out better than in the simulator. I'm 60. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, not everyone's gonna have the same experience. Some folks, like this fella, Zama, 1989. Thank you to all. Wish you a good. Okay, so there you go. Hopefully that helps. So now we're just gonna go pleasant flight streams. Okay. All right, so now we're just going to go to some more questions. Remember, we answer all your questions in real time, live. So if you just got to wait your turn. How to by Lou. So you took advantage and made the title BS to get clicks. Cool story. Which one is that one? Hold on. Open image, not image. I'll have to click on the link to see what they're talking about. How to add DJI avata drone to Liftoff. No, we added a DJI drone to Liftoff. What comment was that? 13 minutes ago. Cannabis by Kelly. Cool story. There's no story. Anyway, that doesn't matter. It's fine. We'll just like their comments. We have love and hate. As you can see, we got some hate. Some people call it clickbait, but we added a DJI avata drone to Liftoff, right? But some people don't call it. I guess it's almost like an avata drone, but you're putting a DJI drone in there so you can simulate flying in manual mode. So at the end of the day, you're flying in M mode. You have N for Nancy in there, and then you have M, because it streamlines the experience so that it feels like you're flying the avata. Whereas the other drones, if you watch the previous video, you're flying in acro, and sometimes the drones fly a little bit faster or slower, in my case, because they require tweaking. Okay, but in this case, there's no tweaking. M is M mode, N is N, and yeah, I don't know if you have sport. Anyway, so hopefully folks will understand that. All right, so let's see. We're just going to pick up where we left off, and I believe I will be covering high wind velocity, even though it was going to be covered in the previous video, but we never made it that far. And I believe that's it with our comments and answers. I think this method is broke due to yes, that method is broke because now you no longer can download your flight logs, but there's a video I have that shows you how to do your flight logs. I actually replied back to this fella here, and you can see in the reply I suggested trying this method. Read more. So there's a link where if you want to see your logs from your flight, you can download them from your phone, because they'll always be on your phone in your history. If it's, you have to go into the files folder of your DJI. Next one, comment, can I bind? Yeah, so the rest is there. Let me just focus on where I wanted to pick up on the last video. So it's called a high wind velocity error. So, and the only folks who can benefit from the high wind velocity error are the folks that fly in manual mode. And I'll show you why in a second. So this is the high wind velocity in N mode. So I have the footage from the goggles. I'm just going to make myself smaller. Can I make myself smaller? Hold on 1 second. And what happens is, when you get a high wind velocity error, the drone has a hard time staying level. I'll get the drone so you can see it. So if it's really windy out and you have the avata 2, right, the drone is going to be flying like that. Okay? And in case you can't see, I will make this one bigger. Oops. Is that one? Yeah. This one. Hold on 1 second. Oops. 1 second. One moment, please. Please stand by. At least we know this won't crash. Alright. So, let me just... So when you get a high wind velocity error, let me just do this. I'm not sure why that one's there, but I'm just going to throw it back to this screen so that you just see me. So high wind velocity error, the drone starts flying like that, and it's really windy, and no matter how hard you try to keep it straight, when you're with the motion controller, the drone is always going to be like this, which sucks. And I'll show you the video footage. I had the video footage from all 3 modes: normal mode, sport mode, and manual mode. Really windy out, your drone's going to be flying like this, but the only way to take advantage of it is to know how to fly in manual mode, and I'll show you in a second. Let me just get rid of this screen right here. Go here. Whoops, there I am. So now watch. So I'm in normal mode. Oops. Drone's in normal mode. I'm just going to scrub through it a little bit so we can just get it in the air, and then you'll see. Why aren't you playing? One moment, please. Please stand by. I hate when this happens. It's not letting me scrub. So I'm going up. See, the lower you are when it's really windy out, the drone's always going to be level. Okay? As you get higher and it gets really windy, the drone will turn, of course, the way it does, the way it's supposed to. But sometimes, watch as we move closer, the drone will start to tilt, and it's hard to keep it straight no matter how hard I try maneuvering with this thing. See, as soon as the high wind velocity error kicks in, that's when the drone starts to lose that center point slash experience. And I'm going to just scrub through a little bit. See if I can see right about here. It's tilted. The footage is sideways. And then right about here. And I'm trying to keep it straight. See, here I am again. Trying to keep it straight. High wind velocity error. Here it's level, which is good. Here, right about here, trying to keep it straight. As soon as I get to the ocean, it's tilting, and I can't keep it straight. And now I try kicking it in. See, I put it that way, as if I'm going the opposite way of the wind. As soon as the high wind velocity error kicks in, the drone starts going like that, and it sucks. And here's my home point. So now I'll show you in sport mode. Exit. Oops. Let's see what we have here. So the footage just tilts. So here's sport mode, high wind velocity. Let me just put a little dash there so that we can sport mode. This one, yeah, here it's really windy, and as you can see, the drone can't keep it straight. It sucks. And then the only way is to go in the opposite way of the wind, and not be in the direction of the wind. So the wind, as you can see, is blowing. If you look at the plants or the whatever it is, the fields, the wind's blowing this way. So the drone has a harder time flying into the wind. It's kind of like sailing. You want to be in the opposite way, but that's where the pretty footage is. So I'm trying to fly into it. But as you can see, the drone is still sideways and lopsided. It's still flying like that. And it's not straight. Oops, here it is. I'm just scrubbing forward. See? Oh, especially here. See how it's this? It should be straight. I would love to have been straight. And I was so disappointed. So I went back home. Well, I just went back to where I was staying. And then I was just thinking. I said, and I brought the manual, the RC controller with me, but I just wasn't crazy about flying it in manual mode because I wasn't sure what was going to happen, because it was so windy and I kept getting these high wind velocity errors in the drone doing that and just trying to keep it steady, and it just couldn't fly well. And this was like 12 miles an hour wind. They weren't very strong winds, to be honest with you. Right here, as you can see, the drone is doing that again. So I figured I'll just turn with it. And so then I was like, you know what? Let me just do it. I have care refresh, right? What's the worst that could happen? So I take the drone out and start the motors, take off. Let's see. I basically start it in M mode as soon as I get off, over the sand, and put it in. I figure, what's the worst that could happen? It'll blow away, right? And I'm just experimenting with it. If you see me fly, I can fly in manual mode, but I'm like, oh my god, it's so cool. The drone is flying straight. It's keeping level. I'm like, this is so cool. As you can see, it's not flying that fast. It's only going 20 miles an hour because I didn't set the gimbal pitch because I just want to experiment with it and see. But I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. And as you can see, no matter how hard I try, the drone stays level. And that's why only folks who know how to fly in manual mode can take advantage of the high wind velocity, because for some reason high wind velocity in manual mode keeps the drone will stay steady no matter what, and it only turns when I ask it to. So it is a little bit of a bummer, because the only way to take advantage of a high wind velocity warning, look at that, see how flat that is, like this, is to know how to fly in manual mode, and it's only turning when I turn it. So I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. So now it's at 10 degrees. So I was like, you know what? Let me increase the angle. So I'm trying to increase the angle without stopping the drone, because I don't know, I just don't want the battery to die, because you get short battery life when you fly fast. And so here I am. And now I adjusted the angle, and I'm just going a little bit faster, but smoother. And I'm still trying to figure out, like, wow, this is so interesting. I'm trying to get the drone to do that, but it won't, because there's something about the drone being in manual mode that keeps it steady. And it would be nice if DJI could actually fix this, because not everybody knows how to fly in manual mode. So they need to fix this so the drone doesn't keep doing that when the high velocity wind error shows up. So yeah, my plan is to go back and fly again, because I was a little bit nervous. I wasn't sure what was going to happen with the high velocity error in manual mode. I thought the drone would have been like going crazy, but no, it tried as hard as it could in keeping it like this, and it kept it like this. And I spent too much time trying to like finagle it, like, oh my god, this is so interesting. I can't believe this is happening. Like, this is so cool. You get a high velocity error. It's windy, but somehow it overrides the windy experience and just keeps it. You can see the water, the wind, see high wind velocity, but the drone is only turning because I'm asking it to. Then I try to go up. Let me see what happens if I go up. Like, if you're going up, you would think it would blow. But I tried to make sure I was over the sand while doing it. But it's so cool. I can't wait to see the footage on the drone when I pull it. But yeah, as you can see, kind of neat, huh? Disappointing, but also neat at the same time. Still able to go fast. See at 36. I think I pull 50 somewhere through here. But again, you don't want to fly that fast with this drone, because if you saw my video where I reach 60 miles per hour, it kicks it out and you get like a throttle override or something like that. So you really don't want to fly fast with this drone. Plus it shortens your flight time when you go fast with it. So it's a little bit of a bummer. Let me see if I can scrub through. 39, 40. I think the top, 47. See, 47 miles per. Oh, you can see. Hold on, 732. 1 second, because I'm in the way. Hold on. See, 50. That was 50, 54, 55. I think I reached like, I don't know. Again, you don't want to fly fast, because if you watch my video where I'm going 60 miles an hour, I've gone 65, I think 70, but drone burns out. You get that error, and it's not worth it, because you want to have fun while flying. So I tried to keep it like 40 or whatever, or 50, but even 50 I think is too much for this drone, because it just doesn't work out. But anyway, I can't wait to see the footage. Look at that! Isn't that so cool? On the beach, So I'm just flying and trying to experiment with it to see how it handles in the wind. And manual mode is the way to go if you get a high wind velocity era. It is a little bit of a bummer that only folks that can fly in manual mode will have footage like that, but it's fun. I like looking at it. See, you could flip with it. Not really, did some turns, but I'm not a big fan of the flips, but I am a big fan of flying in manual mode. And I guess, like they say, you have full control of the drone. But DJI really needs to fix this, because you shouldn't have to fly in manual mode to keep your drone straight and level. Be like this, like, what's wrong? Yeah, it's kind of neat, huh? Return home, battery low. So in this case, you can't override it. It just tells you return home. You don't have that pause button. It just tells you to return. Whereas if you're in normal in sport mode, you can cancel it. And that's it for that. So I'll just answer a few more questions. Battery level, return home. It's a fellow I met who was in the truck. He actually has a DJI drone too. And I was showing him. I sent him the link to 3 videos so that he could. But they had to go, so I had to go too. So, and that's it for that. So let's see. Yeah. All right. Auto landing. Oh wow, auto landing in progress. Oh wow. I didn't even press landing. I guess it was just landing because the time was up. All right, so that takes care of that. So now we'll just go back to a few questions that we may not have been able to answer. And so that would be the end of high wind velocity. Again, only folks who are in manual mode can take advantage of it until DJI actually fixes it. And like they say, welcome back to everything that glitches. So we'll see if we can answer some more questions for you. There was an update that DJI just pushed to the folks who have, where's my phone? Oh, it's right here. To folks that have these cameras that I'm using, that's supposed to help with your live stream, but apparently not. Apparently it glitched out my live stream. So DJI, sometimes having the latest and greatest software is not always the latest and greatest. Here, I'll show you what the I updated this camera today, which sucks. Let's see. And there we are here. As you can see, these are the what DJI threw in. See, it says added support for setting audio gain during recording or live stream when an external microphone is connected, optimize stabilization performance, and then he says added support for audio, and again, and it says improve video quality in live streaming modes significantly and optimize stabilization performance in both webcam and live stream modes. Hold on. Yeah. Let me just pause that. Live stream modes, added support. Yeah, so they crash everything. I should have just left the cameras the way they were. So now I gotta wait for another update, because apparently if the stream's running too long, it just glitches out. So knowing that, moving forward, so we're just gonna go here, answer some more questions, and then that's it. So we have a method for getting our flight data. If you want, just look for that. There's a link to that video. I'll probably put it in the description. Actually, I'll do that now. I'll just copy the links, right? Because I left the link there. So if you want to get your flight data, if you get an error, you can do that. And this video is right here. I'll just open up a new tab, put this here, and then I'll just leave it in the description down below. Okay, it's basically how you can find your drone too, if you lose it in the woods, by using Google Maps. And anyway, there's a link to that. All right, let's see. Comment: can I bind goggles too with RC3? From last I checked, goggles 2 with no, it has to be 3, 3, and 3, unfortunately. Yeah, unless they've changed some things. Next one. Is there any chance that your fingers will touch the propellers while capturing the drone and turning it over? It's possible. You got to be careful. With the Avata 1, no, never, not in a million years, because it's so high, like a brick, that you just grab it. With the Avata 2, you got to be really careful. And I actually created a YouTube short so that, you know, it will show you how to do it with the Avata 2. When it's too windy, it's trickier. That's weird. I thought I left, 3 replies. Yeah, there we go. It's trickier. Yeah, so there's one there. So I'm just gonna go here, go to notes, open up a new note. There we are. Let's see. Go here, close that out. So I'm just going to leave a link to so that you'll have it in this video if we go into the description. So I created a YouTube short that will show you how to land the Avata 2 and take it off, so that you can actually, I'll let you guys watch, because not everyone knows how to hand launch it. Not everybody knows how to no, that's not it. Hold on. There we go. It's a short. So it's only a 1 minute short. See, we do 1 minute videos too. So you launch it. I'll let you guys watch it. Here, I'll turn this button until the drone launches. See, just like that. And you can move the drone around, as you can see. I'm going to lower it a little bit. Bring it in a little. Bring it in a little. Now, if you want to land it, you hold your hand out like that, right? And as you hold the hand down, just put press the black button so it comes down. We'll go underneath, and we're holding it down. Now you want to hold your hands out and flat though. Make sure your hand is flat. You could also launch it that way too. Watch like this. We'll double tap, hands out, right? And then we're just going to do that. Hold the button, and voila. So another way to launch the drone is the DJI Avata 2. So again, it's tricky, but that's why it's not like the Avata 1. So with the Avata 2, not everybody can do that, can catch it like this. And even for me, I get nervous when doing it, when I do like that and then flip it over. So you just catch it in your hand, hold your hand out like that. Don't hold it up because you don't want to get your fingers caught in it. And then that's it, and just let it land. Except when it's windy, it's trickier because the drone will, it's like trying to land it, you know, like in the air, but the wind's just blowing it. And as you can see, it doesn't handle well in the wind unless you're flying in manual mode. So I'll leave those two in the link down below for you guys. All right, let's see what we have. Where did it go? Lost it. It's all right. It's fine. Just bring it back here. And then I think we have a few more questions left, and that's it. All right, we got one, everything that glitches. We got one, cannabis. And that's where we left off. Wow, would love to learn how to shoot time shift. It's called a tilt shift. Hold on one second. Did I miss one? No, I guess not. Interesting. So now we're at Ken. Ken imaging. Wow, great footage, especially catching those lightning strikes in the background. Thanks for sharing. Which drone did you use here for that? It was a combination of the Mini 3 drone and the Mavic 3 drone, and then but it doesn't matter which drone you shoot your footage in when wanting to do the tilt shift. The tilt shift is actually an effect that you do with Final Cut Pro. There's a video I have on that. I'll leave that in the description down below, I believe. Let's go here, just so we don't lose anything, right? We'll just go here. We'll go to my channel. Goggles N3, so in goggles. And then go to tilt shift. There it is. Tilt shift effect in Final Cut Pro. Control X, delete that, and then we'll leave that link in the description. Take tilt shift. There you go. And this one is hand, land, and launch. Remember, I'm going to put these in the description. Okay. And this one is, what is that one? Don't remember. Let's see. Oh, how to find your drone, or just flight logs. How to find your drone with your phone. Drone and flight logs. And it works too. Like if you lose your drone, you can go into the DJI app and then go into this other website, and it's tricky, but it's doable. It works. All right, so there's there. So that's where we left off. Hope that helps you guys. And I believe, yes, and they were correct that I think this method is broke due to the flight log changes DJI made, and that's why I made that video, to help folks get their flight logs or even find their drone when it crashes. Let's see, because once it crashes and the battery runs out and it's dead and you can no longer do the find my drone with the beep beeps, you're only left with the GPS geocaching experience. Let's see. My pleasure. Let us know how it goes. 03. We told them that 03 only works with 03, 03, 03. You can't do 02, 03, and 03 with the goggles. But you can connect the 03 goggles to the 03 air unit, right? But you have to use an 03 remote too. You just can't do it the other way. It's a bummer. Why is it so squeaky though? Holy saturation, Batman. So funny. Yeah, I didn't. It was the camera. And if you watch my Osmos Action 5 unboxing, they helped me with the settings. They helped me fix it so that I can find the settings that work right for me. So we have a live unboxing with that. It's a little bit of a bummer, but I managed to fix it though because DJI supplied with the correct settings. So yeah, there was nothing. It was overly saturated until DJI provided a fix for it. Commented, why is it squeaky? Sometimes with the master air screw props, it will sound like the Avata one, and it's a little bit, and sometimes it will just go bouncy in the air, which is really weird. But once it gets the kinks out after like 20 or 30 seconds, the drone is so smooth, really smooth. And I believe that's it. So there we go. Oh, I'm wondering yeah, that's it. That's from last week. I can't get work properly. Mic 2. Yeah, that's from last week. And I told them to put in a support ticket with DJI because I had a similar issue with my DJI mic, and it took me an hour with live support, and then finally they said ship it back, and I shipped it back, and they sent me a new one, and it's been working great. That's why my videos cover everything that glitches. So if I do an unboxing, it's not going to be all the beautiful experience. It's going to be like, sometimes it's not a streamlined perfect experience with your product. So I will help get it running and troubleshoot it, and usually that's what we wind up doing with everything from DJI, the troubleshooting it. So it's a little bit of a bummer because it's not how it is out of the box. It'd be nice if it just worked, but if the problem is everyone has different devices, and it sounds like I'm not sure what devices they're prioritizing when they're doing their QA experience. It's definitely not my stuff. So knowing that and moving forward, I believe that is it. That is the end of today's show. I think I might go live again, but I want to finish building the micro drone. I want to do some of because I have to do the motors, and that's going to take some time. And see, that's why I'm afraid to do it on the live stream, because as you saw, we lost one of our cameras on the live stream. So, and I won't know if my live stream crashed until sometimes when I'm done, but I'll have to check it every now and again, because as you know, if we're doing a live stream of a build on the drone, this is going to be me. I'm going to be looking up every now and again and then soldering, and then I won't be like, oh, okay, we're done, and be like, we lost our video. So yeah, we'll see. I'm still debating it, but maybe I'll do it in pieces and press record. This is a good soldering iron, but we have to have a plan B just in case it doesn't work. Anyway, I'm going to tin this tip. The show is over. Feel free to go, but I want to tin this so I have it ready for our next show, because I think I'm going to do one motor and then see how it goes, because we're almost finished with that build, and then record, and then maybe part 2 will air next week, and then part 3, I'll tell you when part 2 will come out. Hold on one second, so you guys can see or just know what's in the schedule. Hold on a second. One more, please stand by. Part 2 will air November 20th. Part 2 comes out. Okay. Yep. And then we have, yeah, and that's it. Oh, get it ready. Just gonna use some steel wool. Last time the tip wasn't too successful. Just want to get some of this stuff off. Nice, to some extent. Might be time to replace this though. The tip. Some guys say they've had their tip for years, right? Me, I've had this tip for 2 years, right? And it just went on the fritz some time ago. But I want to try and solder something. Hold on a second. On one of the boards. I have a soldering practice board, which is right here. And thankfully, we don't have much. We're done with the soldering. We did the build in the previous video. But I just want to see. But we will have to have everything ready just in case. So this goes here. Don't worry, I'm going to show you guys. Because I'm going to do one motor. The motors are fine. there's nothing wrong with them. I just have to splice them because the wires are too short. So I'll have to use the soldering iron to tin it. That's all. But all the hard part's over with the flight controller and all that stuff. So now, when it reaches 600, hold on a second. I'll shrink this so that you guys can see. Interesting. There we go. There's there. It's going to turn the camera around. Hold on. Put this here. Bring that up on the top. There we are. I'm going to rotate it. Rotate it. I could put that there. Okay. So it looks like the soldering iron got as hot as I needed for it to be. So to tin it, to get it ready for the next show, I think I'll do part of it live. Put it in, whoops, because we have a smoke detector up there. There was one time when it went off and everybody's sleeping. You know? See, the solder is not melting. Now it is. But not a good sign. Bummer. Yeah, I think it's time for, look at that. See how dark it is? Bummer. Alright. It is what it is. Time to bust out the new tip. It's not the temperature, because if you've seen my live streams, I've been using this for the last 2 years, and it's at 698. Let's see. I can move that to the side a little bit. That worked a little bit, putting it in there. But, see, look at that, how nice and tin that is. Yeah, I can tell that the tip is on the fritz because it's darkened. Not sure how it got dark. It's a little bummer. Okay, let me try to see if I can put some more solder on it. But you see how that's all dark right there? Wasn't like that, but something happened. Something got screwy. And then when I try, right, to tin the tip, it's working a little bit, but it's still burnt at the tippy tip. Bummer. It's like dark right there. And it didn't come off with the steel well, and it's not coming off with this. But let's see what happens if I basically got to open up the box and bring out the new tip. But let's see how the soldering experience works here. See all the wires I put there? Just for testing. So move this up a little bit. Put this here. See, you should be able to, again, you got to put flux on here, but that's, you know, to get the solder to like stick and flow. See, if I just do like that, nothing happens. It works a little bit, but see? But if I do this, let me just get the solder off there. It's fair. I don't want it like that. So I take my stand, move anything plastic out of the way, right? Because it's a hot tip, and my Apple mouse is made of, I think, glass and plastic. Could put this, I guess, down there. Oh no, I need this. So if I take a little stick, or whatever, you know, whatever you need, It's going to have to be a little, oh, it's over there, but I don't want to move stuff. So I take, I'll have to use this then. It has a sharper point. See? If I take a little bit of flux and put it on here. So you just smear it on. Like that. And now, when I take my solder, right, the pencil fell asleep. And now, melt that. And it should, in the perfect world, see? Create like a little bubble. Little bubbly bub. And if you see, you can see. And you can do like different points, but let's say if I do this side. Remember, I didn't put flux on there, so I gotta, let's see. Yeah. Some. The only thing is this holder is not the best. So I put flux in the areas that I want. To create that little raise. So I'm going to put here, right? Just a little bit, smear it on. No need to cake it on, but in little areas there. You could do like that, right? Because remember, that's where the solder will go. And as long as you stay focused on your point of where the solder needs to be, you can create, you know, nice little hill, I call it. Nice solder joint on here. Well, we already did the flight controller on part 2 that will come out November 20th. It's on the schedule. In the winter we cover a lot of soldering. We do soldering projects because I fly, but a little bit, not that much. All right. So now I can touch any point that has that flux and create like a little mound. See? Little mound. Wow, that's so cool. I'll show you guys on the microscope in case you can't see it. Little mound. Little mound. Whoops. See, I missed it. It's fine though. Sometimes you have to do this to reset the experience. And then I have little mound. Yep. Little mound. I'll do 6. And then I'll show you on the computer. That's 1. That's 2. And you want to practice on these because you only get one shot on the flight controller. See the little flight controllers? It's hard to see. Oh yeah, you can see. Look at that. I'll make it bigger. Hold on, let me clean this off. But I still feel like I need to start using the new soldering iron tip. I don't trust this one. I'll do a few more and then I'll make it bigger so that you guys can see. 1, 2, 3, 3. Oops. 3. So it starts like not sticking. That means that I need flux. I can fix that one though. I'll fix it and then put more flux on and show you guys. Yeah, it needs more flux. It starts to get like butchered. I'll show you which one I'm talking about in 1 second. for something. All right, so I only put flux on. I'll show you after I'll show you the one that got messed up. So now I put flux everywhere. Okay. So now, wherever I hit my soldering iron, the flux will melt it to create a really nice experience. So like bubbles, bubbly bub. And it helps it stick. Now I'm going to do one big one. Voila. Now I'll show you on the big screen. Can plug this out. So it's still working, but I still have some blackness on the tip, and sometimes it's not sticking. But it still looks pretty good, pretty tin. So now it's tinned. We'll try to tin it a little bit more. Have it ready for our next live show. See how it's stuck on the tip? And then I do that. Now it's, it's somewhat ready. Yeah, now it's tinned. There we go. It's ready for next week, or maybe this week, depending on when I decide to go live. Well, you see, that's what worries me. So it tins around everything, except that one little spot, which is like black and burnt. Yeah, I think it's time. Except here it's tinned all the way around. I got like a burnt part. That's not doing justice. I got an extra tip, but you know what it's like. Yeah, I don't want to. These tips don't come cheap, you know. It's like I try to use it as long as I can, but it's not worth. It's not worth ruining a flight controller. Remember, I had this tip for 2 years, so I unplugged it. So it's just bite the bullet and put the new tip on, right? We got a lot of videos out of this solder. We got the Avata motor upgrade with this video. We got a couple of games we built with this. We got a drone builds. We got the LED lights with this. We got a lot of soldering videos with this soldering iron. Yeah. And I've never seen a black spot on the tip before, which is a bummer. Let me see if I can do one more before I show you guys. Yeah, you got one more out of it. All right, just gonna plug it out, see how it goes, and then show you on the big screen. Here's our magnifying glass, our 3D picture viewer. Just putting everything back, so I don't want to go crazy looking for it later. This can go there. We'll use the pointer in this video. So again, you want to practice on the flight controller practice boards. Alright, I'll just put that there. Piece of solder. Find the on switch. There we are. It's going to take this off. Make sure I bring my mouse over to this side so it doesn't touch this. Actually, I could put this on the floor so that I don't accidentally run through it with the mouse. Move this up. Now I need to move my mouse over into the safe zone. Oh, let me go. It's a live stream. We could have people in here right now, and I don't even know it. Oh, nice. Thank you, buddy. I wish you health and goodness. Enjoy your streams. Helped with the experience. That's great. Great. We helped someone. That's great. If we can help one person, it makes a big difference. And that's why we created this channel, to help folks, you know, because in the beginning, I was reaching out to every channel out there saying, how do you do this? Can you help me? Silence. And then finally, I spent time figuring it out. And also, you know, thanks to our viewers and subscribers also helped too. FPV unknown, but it was a hard. But anyway, knowing that moving forward, I'm glad we were able to help you. Bush Boys, hello, what's up, Bush Boys? All right, so just going over I was doing some soldering, and now I'm just going to show on the big screen how it actually looks. I believe I have to go into photo booth. Hold on one second. Welcome to the show. We do live Q&A. We answer the questions, and then hold on, and then you know, everyone has to wait in line to get their questions answered. I'm going to use your videos to try to get Dummy 13. Dummy, oh my god. Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard, but I scaled down all the files in the GitHub repository. Let me so I would do one arm first, okay? Hold on one second. Don't worry, this is a live show, so we do everything in real time. Let me just go here. Let me just make sure our photo booth is working, and I'll get the link to, oh, there we go. It's working. All right. So before I show you guys what's on the live stream, let me just fix this really quick. Let me go here. Not there. That's weird. We lost a camera. We got one camera there. And we got no camera there. Let me, one moment, please stand by. All right, I'm gonna bring in another smaller camera. Whoops, is that 2? Yeah, so that's 2. So we'll bring that one in. Just gonna shrink this so that I'm here. And then I'm gonna go to the repository on GitHub. Oops, let me just click on do. Since that moved there, and we'll leave the questions in another window. We'll leave this here. Hold on, Bush Boys. We will move this over here because we're going to show what we were soldering, and then we're going to shrink the here, and then let's go to the GitHub repository, and I'll help suggest on what you should do. It's a nightmare because remember, there's no PLA support, and that's why each and every piece had to be printed individually. Although some printers are having printers with different printers are having different experiences. All right, GitHub should bring me to mine, and then we'll go to repositories. All right, and then we'll go to let's see. Don't do the XMaker Joy, because the XMaker Joy is a different experience for the Dummy 13, okay? We will go to Just For You, Papa Pico, Tilt Shift, Ender 3S1 Pro, Walnuts, Winlux, Ender 3S1, Dummy 13, okay. AOC, so when was that one? Updated July 20th. Yeah, I believe that's it. All right, anything that says AOC to Joy Maker, July 20th. I believe July 20th is, yeah, I just uploaded. I think someone said an arm was missing. So it does work. People have said thanks, and I'm missing a body part. So that was all they needed to complete it. But See, dummy 13 scaled. All right. So when you go, oh yeah, a right hand was missing, and that was updated 3 months ago. But other than that, the 7-month ago files. Remember, make sure it's dummy 13 and not for the printer that was sent to me by the company for review, just dummy 13. All right, so if I click here, GitHub scaled, that'll download, and then we'll go here on the right hand side, and then select download again, and it should download to whatever folder you have it in. And then don't worry, I'll get to the soldering parts in a second. And then we'll go here. See, it extracts, and so there's a README. What does the README say? So I just put that together so you can see. You know, 107 means the size, 100 scaled at 107. Okay, it's already done. But if you want to redo the parts yourself, this is the configuration that works so that you get your dummy 13 to look like that, so everything fits, and all the parts had to be scaled down. But once you do it, you're one and done. And it's a little bit of a bummer, but I don't know why. I love it. I have one here. I have like 2 down there. My kids love it. One has one in her locker at school. Okay, so the knees I super glued, but if you could tweak that a little bit when it comes to scaling, because it only takes a couple of seconds to print the kneecaps. All right, and then you have here, and then that's it. That's there. So now we'll go into the files that you have in the GitHub. As you can see, everything, you have individual frame parts, right? All the original parts, because remember, the developer's always changing the stuff. So this is all the stuff that I have that works. So if you download it from the website, it's not working. I'm not sure, but I know that this works because the folks are already thanking. All right, so we'll go here. We'll shrink that folder. So you have the parts in there, but you want here arms, chests, extras. So these are anything that's labeled the body part has already been scaled, but you can't change anything. If you want to change it, do it from the original STL file. Once a G-code file is made, you're stuck with it. So it's just ready to print. You just send that to the printer. And let's see if I go here. If I open it up, it's not scalable. And remember, STL file is only scalable. So let's say if you don't like the way 106 works, just make it 10 whatever. And as you can see, it's just ready to be printed. Send it to your printer. See? And that's at 106. So everything is ready to be printed and again put together. And that's it for that. So let us know how it goes. Good luck with it. And like I was saying, print an arm or leg first, whichever body part you're comfortable with. Print that part first. So if you want to do an arm, make sure you print one arm first. If the one arm prints correctly and perfectly, move on to the next body part. Do both arms, right? And then when you're done printing the arms, print the legs. Once you have the arms and legs printed, then do like the torso part, so you know the parts will just clip in after, and then you would scale that accordingly. But it's already scaled for you. Remember, this is working. This is for Ender 3 S1 Pro, and I had to create a new version, which was a nightmare for the other printer that was sent to me from the company AOC, and that took forever. But I got it working, so the kids that have that printer can now print themselves a dummy 13 too. Knowing that, moving forward, remember, STL files are here. STL files are rescalable. Well, you shouldn't have to rescale anything because it was all done. And this was done actually live when I printed the this, and I also the video. You know, I don't usually edit my videos, so you'll see that too. So knowing that, moving forward. And that's it. So hopefully that helps you with your dummy 13. That's a schedule of videos coming out. Okay, I'm going to use the videos. Yeah, I have PLA. Okay, and my friend has been waiting forever for me to give him the action figure. Oh wow, interesting. Okay, yeah, I have half printed because I already seen the link to the GitHub, but they keep breaking. Oh. So I'm trying to fix them. All right, so if it keeps breaking, that means that it's either too big or too small. You know what? Let's print one. Let's see. So if you're putting a body part together, like the joints, if it's not sized correctly, it will break. So let me see what let's just have a look at this really quick, and then we'll do there. So these are the parts I just soldered. See how nice the joints look? See? Small, but it's hard to figure out. No, is it the side? Yeah, it is the side, because I had done that. Hold that where my finger is. See there? Let me see if I can get it. See? The spots are so small and tight, but I was able to solder them and get solder on there. Except for that one where I said I messed up on, right? Which is, I believe you can tell which one is that one. No, wait, that one? No, the other side, that one. Yeah, that one's all right. But you want them all to look like that. And again, put flux on it. And if you're having trouble soldering it, then it means that it either needs flux or your tip is on the fritz, like that one, where there's like one spot, no matter how hard I tried to tin it, it's just black. And I just love it. I love that tip. So you can't be emotionally attached to it. You just got to let it go and throw it out, bite the bullet, put the new tip on, and then order a new one. And they don't come cheap. That's why too, because that's a special soldering iron. All right, so let me turn on the printer and see what we can do for you. Oh, check this out. This is a I guess we can turn this off since we're done with that. You got to see some soldering action, some tinning. I don't know, I still might use that tip. No. Check this out. This fidget. Kind of neat, huh? With the printer. All right, so I'm gonna have to change the PLA. I mean, I have PLA in there, but I have multicolor filament in there. But I just downloaded the dummy 13. Okay, and I'll print an arm, one arm in this video. So it's going to take a little bit longer, meaning because we're on a live stream. There we go. And we're going to do an arm, right? Let's see. All right, I think the setup is good with the screen. So we'll go here for now. All right, I'm going to have to change the filament. So please stand by. Your call is important to us. I'll move the camera over there so you can see me. Wait. Oh, it's upside down. Whoops. Oh, we lost it. All right. Thankfully, we only lost that camera and not the. It should come back though. Hopefully, when the webcam kicks in. Nope. We may have lost it. It's okay. We'll just delete it. It will delete it and add it again. Remember the last time? Hold on. Let me delete this. And now I'm going to add a camera, a webcam. Hopefully it lets us. Yep, there it is right there. Click to preview. And then add. And now. Nah, we went through the same thing we went through before. Shit. Hold on. Delete. We have the big screen, which is good. Webcam. Don't worry, we'll get you up and running. I just need to fix this. It's a little glitch. When we lose a camera, we lose the show. Oh wait, that's right. Apparently there's a time limit. DJI just pushed an update, right? It's supposed to help with your live stream, but good luck with that. All right, so let me scale to fit. See what happens if I put it in the front. Nah, bummer. I'm just gonna disconnect this camera. Well, what happened in the last live show when I started doing this? It just went kapoots. Okay, it's on webcam. DJI, if you're watching, you gotta fix this. Can't be pushing out updates that crash people's live stream. I got that one running. Just gonna delete it. Delete. At least that works. So don't worry, I'll do it. You'll be able to watch from here and just look down here. Okay. Alright, let's see. I'll try one last time, because we know what happens if we try too many. We lose the show. Alright. Yeah, no, it's not gonna work. Alright. But don't worry. We will just gonna go over there and change the filament. I can let you see from this camera. Just give me a second. I will add the what do you call it? Webcam from here. So I'm going to change the filament to yellow, since yellow is on there. I have multicolor, but it's hard to see with the multicolor. Interesting. Oh, FaceTime HD. There we are. So I'll go there. I'll just leave it there. Add it. There we go. So I'm going to go over there. That's that part of the wall. Everything's backwards on an Apple camera. Alright, so I'm going to go over here, change the filament, and then I'll be back. Yeah. So I got to turn the heat up to the nozzle. Settings, PLA, leveling, about. Oops. So it's just resetting. 1 second. You know when you first turn the printer on and it goes back home? So that's what it's doing. I'm just moving stuff out of the way while the printer just turns on and works its magic. Okay, home. Settings. Ready, manual, nozzle. Print bed temperature is increasing. Let me go here so you can actually see from. So I used the Beagle Print camera. It's a really I no longer input the SD card into the slot. I do everything from the computer now. Alright, so from here, everything except the nozzle temperature and stuff like that, and filament change. But when I want to print something, I do it from my desktop. As you can see, I'll just shrink this one here and then bring that there. 1 second. just pushing it through. A lot of times you can push it through, or you can program the the printer to push out as much as you need. So it's pushing it out, so I just need the tweezers to pull it out and then stop it. So you see that's the yellow. You set it to 0. So then I just reset it to 0. Oh, you can't see because that camera's not working, but I've reset it to 0 after it pushes out. So you can either do it by hand or just put the number, whatever number, like 5 or 10, and then it keeps pushing it out because I had multicolor filament in there. All right. Now we can get rid of this old school camera. There we are. I'm just going to shrink this. And we'll start with some body parts. Alright, and then we'll go here. I thought I put it on the desktop, so hold on. Now I can bring my keyboard over since we were soldering. Plastic melts. Alright, so now we're just gonna go here. There's our dummy 13. Individual armor parts, we're gonna do frame parts. Frame is like the inside, the skeleton. So I'm going to do hand grip. So I'm just going to do, remember I just downloaded it from GitHub. So the frame chest, maybe later. Abdomen, knee, elbow. Definitely need that. Definitely need that. Definitely need that. Definitely need that. You know what, let's just do an arm for, I just want to, hold on, new folder. Okay. Tonight, these are the parts we'll print tonight. And then we'll go, what's that? Yeah, no, we're just going to do an arm. Let's do an open hand. Okay. And then we'll do, what's the frame neck? No, we won't do that. The neck is just what holds the neck together. Frame waist. Frame, oops. Frame hips. I'm not going to do the hips. Frame head. That's where the head goes in. Hand grip, we're not going to do that. We're going to do an open hand, open fist, remember. Frame knee, elbow. Yeah, so we need one of those parts. Frame abdomen. Not going to need that, at least not in this video. I'm just going to try and frame shoulder. We need that. Frame thigh. No. Although, I can't remember. The forearm. Actually, I have one right here. Forget. I know we need that, Well, let's just get the printer going so that we could. We definitely don't need the ankles. We're not doing the ankles. Let's do one. Let's start with. That'll take too long. We'll start with one of the joints, okay? So let me just do this. Individual frame parts 01. Okay. Individual frame parts 01. Just want to move it into the desktop. There we go. And then now, so I can put that folder here because we don't need the rest. We're only printing one body part. And I'll show you how it works. Alright, frame, knee, elbow, frame chest. Let's start with I think I threw away his hand. It's okay, we'll get it back. I wanted an open one. Oh, because I put it in here. So let's print this one first, okay? This is how you do it with the Beagle camera. So that's why I don't go to the printer anymore, which is just phenomenal. The only downside is that if you connect from here to print, you have to stop it from here. You're never going to be able to stop it from there anymore. So that's the only downside. So let's say if you're home and you see your print turning into spaghetti, I can't say, oh, just press stop on the, you can't, you got to do it from here. You got to do it from the app. So make sure the app is on your phone, okay? I'm gonna have to spray it with some 3D lax because it's been a while since I printed something. And that's just this. It helps it keep the print sticking there. It's called 3D lax. Lac. There's no S. I just call it lax. All right. So now we're just gonna go into printable files, upload, and it's on my desktop. See, 01 individual parts. Tonight, it's an STL file. So STL files, remember I was saying, won't print. So we're gonna upload it, and we're just gonna upload a part that's already a geocode is created for. Okay, so you see these are all STLs, so we can't print that anyway. So we have to go back into the downloads folder. The STL files are just there for plan B. Let's say, oh, it's not working. Let's say parts are breaking as you're putting them into the joints, it sounds like. So again, I'm going to extract, put this on the desktop, replace it. See, there it is. And then go here, dummy 13. And then remember, STL parts you customize and scale. We're going to the scalable parts, okay? So we're going to go into scaled working. Don't need that since that's a PDF. And then arms. There we go. All right, there we go. Let me I'm just going to put this on the desktop since that's what we're doing first. And we'll pull it up from there. Go back into the Beagle Print and then upload. Desktop arms, click open, and now see you can't preview it, so you gotta know what you want to print before then. Frame, forearm, open hand. Okay, we're going to print an open hand first, and then we'll sort everything out accordingly. I'll print here and then work our way in. We'll have the hand printed, the forearm, the elbow, and then this part right there. I forget what that part's called. So we're going to start from there. And then when you press print, 3 minutes, no, 13 minutes. Please stand by. All right, so it's going to take 13 minutes to print this. You don't have to watch this all tonight, but at least you'll you know, it'll be a live stream of everything having printed up to this part here. And then, you know, you tweak accordingly. Hopefully it won't have to be tweaked, but it sounds like the joints might need to be. So that we have that takes 13 minutes. So in the meantime, we'll get the other parts ready. Okay. Remember, I'm going to close this, close that, go into the arms folder. Again, the frame, hip, shoulder, G-code. Oh, and also sometimes you can't preview it unless it's the STL file. Let's see. So we will do the forearm next. So you notice how, hold on, so you can see. Notice how, I'll make this bigger here. I'll try to explain to you a little bit how the parts work. So right now, we're printing hip, shoulder, pelvis, knee, open. Oh, we're printing here. The frame hand open, it's 107. All right, that's basically the scaled at 107. That means the next part should be either a 106 or a 107. Sometimes you can't put a 107 into a 107, if that makes any sense. So let's see what the next part, and if you're not sure what the next part is, because let's say you don't know the parts, I'll show you what to do. You go here, we have our, put this like this next to that. Yep, right. Put this here, and you're going to open it up like that next to this, and then you're going to open up the STL file. Okay, frame is the skeleton. So as you can see, now you can go here. So now we have, this is a particular joint that is not part of the arm, so don't worry about that. This part is a forearm. That's this part here. We'll print that part next, because that's the part that the hand goes into, and that part prints pretty fast. Oh, and let's just check the printer. Hold on, because you don't want your stuff to turn into spaghetti. If it does, that means that you either need to level your board, it's a bad STL file, or something's wrong with your printer, one or the other. And it's a nightmare, because but your stuff is printing, which is great. I'm just worried about me because I haven't printed in a while. All right, so knowing that, moving forward, we are here. So we're going to print a forearm next, and after the forearm, we're going to print an elbow part, which is, let's see. Actually, I'll just scroll through it. We're going to print the upper four. Those parts are tricky. These are the parts that can break. What size is that? Oh, hold on. This parts are going to print that. The joints, the frame is basically the part that does that. But forearm, that's what we're going to print next. And 2 times means you print 2 because it's got 2 hands or 2 arms. Let's see what we have here. Hold on. So we're just going to preview the parts. And you can have an open hand, a closed hand. You know, I like the open one because then you can hold that shaft thingy, that stick. Hold on 1 second. Frame, abdomen, that's for his lower body. So we'll just print one piece at a time, and then we'll just hopefully it will, you know, work out. This is for his no part of his arm. That's for his leg that his joint goes into, so that it will. Well, you'll see in the end. I think no waist, frame waist, similar part, but no, that's just, it says it right there, frame waist. That part's tricky because that goes into his little middle part in there. That's a tricky thing to put together. Frame, neck. You know, if you watch the video, you'll see me put the whole thing together. This is part, I don't know if I glued it. I may have glued it, but that's this part here. It holds inside there. See that? It's his neck. So basically, and then you put his head on, but I glued it in, so it's not coming out. But again, we're going to be building a whole arm in yellow because that's what's printing now. Going to keep them there. Just got to put them back like that. The rest of the parts print really fast. I think this is the longest one. Can't remember. We'll find out in a second. Leave them there like that. It's really tricky. Like that. Could always fix them later. I just don't want them to fall down. Let's see. Oh, and you go back here and see how many minutes are left. Not very long. 5 minutes left. 33%. And as you can see, the print's not turning to spaghetti. This is at open hand 107. Okay. So let's see what size the forearm is in. Whoopsie, he moved. Everything was fine until we started messing around with you on the video. Just got to get him in that right position. All right, let's see what's next. Forearm, remember it's smaller. See? And then we'll do the joint. So that's at forearm 112, a little bit bigger. See? Can't see the preview though. 112, 2 times forearm. Arm. Oh, that's armor. Is that armor? Yeah, we're not printing armor though. We're doing frame. So anything armor we can delete. Oh, I'm deleting. You don't delete because I just need to not mess it up and print the wrong part. Frame. Frame hip. Armor. Nope. There it is. Frame forearm. That's going to be next. Anything armor I'm deleting because I'm doing the skeleton part. And as you can see, the forearm frame is at 107. The parts that I just deleted, right, or in the trash, are 112. They're bigger because remember they're going into the skeleton, right? The skeleton is going into the armor, if that makes any sense. So the armor has to be bigger so the skeleton fits in. So remember, everything. Don't worry, that shut off. That camera we lost earlier anyway, which is a bummer. Keep losing that camera. And we almost, I think, no, we lost that one too during the show. So if this show disconnects, I'll continue with here. All right, so that's printing. Let's go back. At least we have a camera over there. That will never fail us. Look at that, 58%. Still pretty good. So these parts are bigger, so they will take a little bit longer, but we're going to build a exoskeleton tonight. It's going to be a long night. Nah, it won't be that long. Maybe an hour. Tops. So I have a new follower. But everybody on my Instagram is, I have some legitimate followers on my Instagram, but I don't do it. And then I have some bots. So that's why I don't do Instagram. I do only YouTube. But I have some people. Like I have, oh look, I have a new follower. But I don't know if they're real or not, to be honest with you. The only ones I know who are real on my not Facebook. I don't do Facebook either. Are my YouTube. It's just one platform. Too many platforms to keep track of. And I tried doing multiple platforms, but it didn't work out. It whatchamacallit? It puts the video in like this weird cheesy format. That's a big hand though. Hold on. Oh no, it's fine. I just don't recall printing that one. All the other hands look like different kinds of hands. A lot of times I usually wait for my prints to cool off, but in this case I'm not going to wait. We're just going to tear them right off so that we can get moving along with the next part, and just put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And again, remember, all the parts on here are scaled. If you're using the STL files are for Plan B if pieces are breaking, which is a little bit of a bummer. Let's upload the next part. So when I do this, I like to upload one piece at a time. If that makes any sense, so that I don't get confused. As you can see, sometimes it's hard to. So next is going to be the forearm. Okay, you need 2, but in this case, I'm printing 1. We'll select open. All right, see, and there it is, the forearm. Can't print it yet. there is a, a, a file on the developer site where you could print all of them at the same time. I tried that and it was a nightmare. The armor worked printing them all, but then when I tried printing the frame, it didn't work out. But then if you keep reading on the website, it says no PLA support, which is a bummer. 2 minutes left on this one, but it's a great gift to give to your friend. But make sure you print one for you too. Maybe we'll do a giveaway. Maybe we'll send one. Let's see, I got one there, one there, one there. Maybe we'll send you one. We have contests, and on the contest, we've shipped to all over the world the people that have won. Maybe if you leave in the comment, my dummy, if you made it this far, we'll do a giveaway. And I will, depending on which one I send away, probably the white one. The white one looks like, the white one was printed on the other printer that was sent to us. Well, it depends. Whichever one I send will be a good one. It won't be one that's a dud. It might be glue. This one's a really cool. Your friend might like this. Tell him you keep the dummy 13 and you print this Nova. Isn't that cool? That's really cool. That was printed on this printer. Love that. There's a video coming out with that one next. That one was tricky to print. Actually got help with that one from the folks at Cura Forum. The guy's name was Slashy the Cow. One of the moderators figured out what was wrong with the STL file. It was actually a bad STL file. I thought it was my printer. I thought it would need calibrating. I thought it would need leveling. Nope. It was a really bad STL file. So sometimes it's not your printer. I mean, sometimes it's not your printer. Sometimes it's the STL file. So there'll be that's coming out. I'll leave a link to that when everything will be in the description where to pull the file from. Now that it's fixed, because if you get it from the website, it's corrupted. At least maybe it's a Macintosh. Either way, it's corrupted. There it is. All right, let's see what we got. Just gonna relax that. Alright, so we got one hand. See that? This camera is not working, so I've got to use this one. But when I put it together, I'll put it together like that so you can see. Alright, so now let's print the forearm. Hopefully that should print really fast. Let's see how many minutes that will take. 7 minutes each. The smaller, the rest will be a breeze. We're looking at tops, maybe 35, 40 minutes. Might wipe it down with some alcohol. I could see some remnants of like just some exfoliage from whatever, the nozzle. But that's okay. That's why I like to keep the board clean. I always wait for my prints to come off, but when I'm excited, I just take them off. In this case, these pieces are so small, it's not gonna ruin the board or anything. It'll just, work. Like those bigger pieces that leave stains and stuff, which I do print, but I always just wipe it down with rubbing alcohol. I use this. This is what I use. And a cloth. Regular, nothing fancy. 99-cent cloth. Usually you get 6 in a pack. Again, it's this. So you can see. Okay. And that's just how you keep your board clean. As you can see, the armor's printing. 6 minutes left. Let's see what we got in the meantime. Why that's not moving? Oh, there we go. There. Let's see. Okay, so next we're going to print. Let's see what we got next. The joint. Oh, no, not the joint, because this is the forearm. After the after the forearm, yeah, no, comes the elbow joint, and then after the elbow joint comes the other part of the arm, which is, I'll show you. Hold on a second. Which is not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one. Looks like that, but smaller. That's for the thigh. See? The frame upper arm. So let's look for, see? Frame upper arm. It's a little bit bigger, but that's okay. It's the frame upper arm, which is, whoops, frame upper arm. Yeah, the reason why it's bigger is because, see this part right here? There's a part that goes in there. So that part, I believe, was a 108 or 10 something, 107. So that would be, hold on. Looks like that. Frame, hip, shoulder. Yeah, it's this one. So frame, hip, shoulder, which is right here, 106. So that part is smaller, right? See? Frame, hip, shoulder, because they have to go into each other. And that's the part that sometimes can break, depending on your PLA experience. So then after the frame, hip, shoulder, which I believe is the last part, then comes that little ball joint, which was, I'll show you. Then comes this one. Hold on. That looks like that, which is here. It's at 107, which is okay because it's a little bit bigger, because 106 can go into 107. Get it? So 106 because it's a size thing. This one is, I believe, 107, and then this one is 106. So the 106 is going into the 107 like that. And then you'll see, I'll show you. Let's see how much time is left on that part. Dun, dun. Not very long, just 2 minutes. And I know that feeling where everything prints beautifully and then it doesn't work out because the breaks, and it was doing that for me, and that's how I figured out how to resize everything. Again, download the parts from the GitHub repository, and you won't have this problem. The only problem is that you won't be able to print the parts the way they show you on the site you download it from, because you're supposed to download it and just print it, and it all prints in one shot, and then you just take it apart and put it together. But again, he said there's no PLA support, so this is why I created the video on how to do this, because it's the only way to do it, is to print one piece at a time. It's a bummer, but it'll go by quickly. Just check my phone, see what I got. Because you can also, if you look really closely, control the prints from your phone. Kind of neat, huh? And the app works wirelessly. You can be home, you could be at work, because it's remote and it's on your network, which is really cool. And I got a little text there. Oh wow, there's an upgrade. There's a new firmware available. Leave it. If it's working, as you see on this channel, having the latest and greatest isn't always the latest and greatest. So you can see there's a new firmware update and a new app update. If it's working, leave it, because then you're gonna I've seen my prints turn to spaghetti, and it's not a forced update, so it's working. Alright, so there's that part. So here's this part. See, this goes into here. So this was a 107 and 107. Sometimes 107 and 107 will work, especially in this case because of the joints. See how that went in? Joint parts will go in, and then turning it, it's a little bit hard, but as you can see, they work. See? So now we're gonna print the little elbow joint. That takes like 2 minutes. Remember, I just downloaded this file, so they work, and people have said thanks. So hopefully you have the same experience, if not better. All right, so now we're going to go here. Upper arm, forearm. Oh, knee elbow. There we go. Oh, I gotta upload it though. Knee elbow, upload. Knee elbow. This is a quick one. I like this one because it doesn't take very long to print. Did I clean it off? Yeah, I was like, wait, you want to make sure you clean off your printer. Yeah, and like you said, your friend's going to have to wait because it's going to take some time. But look, now we got that. See? Kind of neat. Remember, the frame is going to be bigger. You might be able to print the frame on one sheet if you're lucky. I didn't get lucky. So in the next part, that's oh, I should put this on though, so dust doesn't get in to the magnifying glass. You close that so it stays clean. This is really cool because it works wirelessly too. But sometimes it. Oh yeah, that's doing that. All right, so then we have that part. We also have some new soldering videos coming out. Remember, in the winter we solder. At least I solder. Some guys look forward to FPVing in the winter. I might do some of that too, but I don't know. We'll see. I want to go back to the beach and film that flight though, in manual mode, because now I know it just works better in manual when it's too windy. It's a bummer that you can't use. Can't use the motion controller 3 when it's windy. It won't stabilize your footage, but DJI should fix that. I'm just gonna go throw this away though. Well, that's almost done, which is pretty good. See this, I'm going to need this camera to do the live stream of building the drone, and if it dies out, I can't do a live stream with it. That just means that I might have to just record it and then just throw it up. We'll see. At least it tells you when it's shutting off. It goes doo doo doo, and this is after the latest update that's supposed to make your live stream better, according to DJI. This is why they don't want me to be their ambassador for their stuff. See? Let's see. This was the latest firmware update. It says optimize stabilization performance in both webcam and live stream modes. Really? It actually broke it, if you ask me. See? It says it right there. Wait, hold on. See, you can read that. There's nothing stabilized about the latest update. Yeah. Sometimes the latest and greatest is not the latest and greatest. So now I wonder if you can, no, you can't downgrade the firmware. You can download the firmware from, for your microphone. You can download the firmware for some other DJI stuff. Maybe some drones, not the latest ones. But you can't download the firmware or even downgrade the firmware to this. Like if it's not working out, you're stuck with it. So I'm stuck with it. I'm stuck with this latest glitch until they fix it. Or maybe I'll reboot unless the live stream application. Oh, here we go. Here's our next part. As an update. Yeah. Oops. There's that part. Unless the live stream application comes up with a fix for their bug, right? Because they'll play the blame game and be like, it's not me, it's you, it's their app. All right, so now we'll go here and push that in. See, we got that in there. Remember, I just downloaded this from the GitHub. This is so his elbow can move, but I believe it goes the other way, so I don't have to pull it out because his joints go in there. It's okay, this part comes out easily. So this goes here because his elbow cap goes in there, on there. So now we have that. See that? So now we're going to print the tricky parts. They print fast, but bye, I'm going to bed, watching all the stream, hoping my figure work. It'll work. Good night. But just remember, scrub through it and you'll see it working. I'll leave in the notes where you can go to see the ending. Okay? Alright, so now I'm going to print two times. We have a forearm. It's a shin. Upper shoulder. I hate those parts. You know what? Let's do this. Knee elbow, we printed. We'll delete it. Frame upper arm. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see, frame upper arm is this one. Let's see what that is. Yep. So now we're going to do frame upper arm. Upload. Frame upper arm. And then press print. Okay. So now I'm going to go into the folder and delete that. Can't see, but here, I'll move that over, move that down. Delete that. Hand open, right? We already have the hand. Frame for, what's that? Frame, we're not doing, let's see the big cavalry. What's that one? Oh yeah, we need that. Frame, hip, shoulder. Frame, hip, shoulder. Yeah, so 3 more parts and that's it. Frame, forearm. 2 more parts, really. Frame, forearm, because we already have that. See? That's what the arm is holding on to. So we only have 2 more parts after this, and we are done. And then you follow along with the armor. The armor is the outer shell, and this is what we got. See that? Okay, I'll leave a timestamp so that you can see the finished part of this having printed, and of the part of the joints putting together, because that's the tricky part. You want to make sure you're on a flat surface. That's hard because it's going to push it right in, and it should go in. That's the part that you can't put in by just doing what we just did here. You actually have to put weight into it. Something flat, so you could push it like a quarter, or maybe a silver dollar, or whatever you can find that will give you the pressure that you need, so it doesn't break in the perfect world. But we're almost there. Don't worry, we'll get there. Again, 2 more parts, and I believe we'll print this one next because that one should be faster. Okay, the clavicle, because the hip shoulder I think takes a little bit longer. I mean, they all do, but each one just has its own time frame. Well, let's see how much time is left. This one shouldn't be too fast or too long. 5 minutes. 5 minutes will go by like that. Actually, 5 minutes will go by like that for you because you'll be sleeping, and when you wake up, you'll be like, oh my god, it's already done. Like, all I gotta do is just press on the time code stamps and go there. Yeah, so lucky for you. But that's why we created this channel, to help folks, because a lot of times people make stuff and don't worry, don't be sorry for not watching the stream. At least you'll have the solution and you can just, again, scrub through it. Okay? And this also, I'll refer people to this link because this link will help folks as long as we go into the time code in 1 hour 54 minutes. But again, I'm just going to leave the time code to the end, and if folks want to watch me put this together, then they can watch it print. But so far so good. I'm glad that the printer is calibrated. The nozzle is great. Sometimes it could be your nozzle, so the printing bed can be need leveling. It could be your nozzle that's out of whack, STL file, except the list just goes on. But as you can see, my nozzle is still good. I've replaced probably about 4 since I've owned the printer. And once my prints start turning to spaghetti, that's when I start to I was like, wait, am I printing the wrong part? And then I know I'm tired. Oh, it's a frame. No, I thought it was an armor. When my prints start going bonkers and not printing anymore, I know that it's time to change the print head. But there's going to come a point in time when you got to change these things right here, these little bearings. And I've already had to change my access motor limit switch, and it's too bad because Creality doesn't sell the part, but they will send it to you. They sent me one, but I asked for another one for a spare, and they wouldn't send it. But they sent me a new one, and there's a video on that access limit switch. So if your printer starts going, it could be something underneath, or the access limit switch. Things break. You get thousands of hours of use on this, so it's normal that the wear and tear is just gonna, one day you wake up, it's not gonna work, unless you know how to fix it. You're great, but if you don't, you have to find someone. And if you can't find someone, some people just buy a new printer. So, knowing that, moving forward, hopefully there are videos out there that show you how to do that. Because I'm hoping I just make the videos as I need them, as they happen, as the parts break, and hopefully this will last. So if you need help fixing it, unless you live in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, tri-state area, that's the only way you will be able to get help from me, because you're local. But other than that, YouTube, well, you'll be all right. Some of those videos are good. I don't like the ones that show you how to fix your 3D printer and there's music on it, because you're trying to focus and all you hear is the and I'm like, I hate that song. And then you're just looking like, wait, all right, he took off the motor, and then you hear the Chinese versions of it, because they don't do a voiceover on it, and all you hear is that Okay, I'm like, no, I just want someone to give me direction. I don't want a song or a melody, a MIDI melody to, right, to make it more entertaining and to hurt your ears even more. Yes, that's the only downside. And I'm glad I didn't have to take apart the printer to find out which chip was underneath there. I just spent an hour shining a flashlight underneath until I could see the code, whatever number was underneath there. But I can't even remember, but I'll have to revert back to my video. But I have the firmware on my computer anyway, and there's a video that shows you how. But because the problem was is that I'll tell you in a second. See? There's this one. The problem was is that I had my printer already calibrated. So if you have to take that thing apart to find out what chip is in there, you got to turn it upside down, or even take it apart and turn it sideways. And once you turn it sideways, everything gets thrown out of whack. And I didn't want to do that. So I calibrated my board. I was like, I'm not calibrating it again, because it's a nightmare when you recalibrate it. When you don't, in the beginning, now I can do it in less than 15 minutes. But in the beginning, I was like, I'm not doing it. And so I just I would rather have shined a flashlight under there for 1 hour. So here you go. Here's this. See? And then this goes here. Like that. And just pops right in. Except, I believe, well, it doesn't really matter which part. So now we're going to print this part that goes in there. Okay, this is the part that's tricky, that could break. So now I'm going to print. So we only got 2 parts left, hopefully, right? Close that. And then go back here. Alright, so we're going to do this one. Is that right? The cow. Let's see. No, we'll do that one last. That's too easy. Okay, we're going to do frame, hip, shoulder. Just make sure, so just double check, okay? Frame, hip, shoulder, just to make sure you're printing. So just keep them side by side. As you can see, frame, hip, shoulder is 106, okay? And then we're just going to go here. Upload, frame, hip, shoulder, open, and press print. It took a while to figure this out. Just think, now it's printing smoothly, but I had to figure out what numbers were going to work with this thing. It was a nightmare. It took hours, and because I wanted one, I was like, I want my very own dummy 13, and when I saw on his website no PLA support, I'm like, are you shitting me? Who doesn't want one of these? Look at that. Isn't that cool? Right? And I was like, well, I guess I got to figure it out and do it myself. And then when I figured it out, I was like, I'm pretty sure there are people out there that want that, right? Who doesn't? And then that's how the idea came to make the video. And now I keep them up there. My kids have one. Just think how many hours I spent printing them, because I have one, my kids have one, which are 2, and then I have 1, 2. Oops, dummy fell. 1, 2. 1, 2. 3. The one is in gray, hidden. I have 3 over there, so even those took forever. That's why, if you leave in the comments my dummy, I will send you one if your name comes up in the raffle. So now I have to figure out how to get this thing standing again. So now the only trouble I have with my dummy 13 is that finding the right position so he doesn't fall off. There we go. It has to be tighter. All right. So now we have 5 minutes. See, but remember, you don't have to print this in one night. You could do like this fellow is doing, Bush Boys, right? Print one piece today, one piece tomorrow, and by the end of the month, you will definitely be done. Because as you can see, you just can't do it all in one shot because each piece is a different size, unless, right, I do this, or you do this too. You take all the 107s, right? Let's see what other parts are there. Let's see the legs G code, because G code means it's ready to be printed. You take all the 107s and you print those, and then you do, well, you'll have to print these 3 parts separately, but again, there's no PLA support, so there's no telling if that'll work if you take all the 107s and print them separately, because I think I tried that once to put them, I don't know, every printer is different, every slicer is different too, so it's hard to say. Oh, let's delete this piece, but you know, that could work. Frame, hip, shoulder, if you piecemeal it but batch process it according to the sizes. So all this 106s will be on one plate, all the 107s will be on one plate. But no, in the perfect world, these are just spare parts, all the gray ones, I just keep them. Sometimes it's hard to let go of these parts because you put so much time and energy into this that sometimes you wind up with a little bin of spare parts like Lego because you don't want to get rid of them. Let's see how much time is left. 5 minutes will go by really fast with these printing experiences. See, 3 minutes before you know it. Before you know it, you'll be done. And you'll have a dummy in no time. Remember, we only got, the next part is the tricky part. So sometimes, not all the time, you have to print this piece twice. I'm hoping because it's a 106, right? And the previous piece was a 109. Yeah, which means this one's smaller, will fit right in. But it doesn't always work that way in the perfect world. But we'll see. Okay? Because remember, a 6 can go into the 9. And a 9 can go into the 6 as long as, remember the 9, this is 9, and this is 6. So it's going to go in like that. 9, 6, 6, 9. So it's going to go in like that. See that? So that's how these pieces were reconfigured and reverse engineered by me, thinking about how the sizes would go in. So hopefully, I don't know, it will work. If not, I don't know. I don't want to think about it because it's no fun. Because sometimes, even though this is a 109, it looks like it's bigger. You don't know until you try to fit the joints in that you're like, fuck, it doesn't fit. Which means that you can't rescale this, because remember the elbow joint is already fit to size. You're going to have to downsize the 106 and maybe make the 106 a 105. Okay? So we won't know until the next few seconds. And I believe the other part is tricky because you would think that the flat part goes first. But I believe the flat part goes the other way. Hold on. I'll take this one apart. Just want to have a peek. Let's see in here. Okay, so the flat part goes out. I used to think that the flat part went in, but the flat part points out. See, it's flat when you put it in. So make sure you do that. Now I can just put this, that's why I kept this for reference, but see? And now I'll just, hold on. Put his armor back together. I remember the armor is going to fit anyway because it's bigger. See? Voila. There's that. And from a distance, it looks pretty big. I wonder if I could zoom in on it. That's what's also scary too. Oops, I can download a picture. See, there it is. Kind of neat, huh? And then go back. 28 seconds left. And then we'll be done. Then I can go to bed and go to sleep. But I gotta get up early. I gotta get the kids ready for school. And then I have to work tomorrow too. Which is fine. Oh, there it is. Let's see if it works. Okay. Now, this part is tricky. So remember, the flat part, oh nice, it looks like it'll fit. The flat part stays facing the outside, okay? See that? And then this one looks like it's good sizing. So if I push it in, yeah, it's gonna need a little bit of weight. Yeah. So this part's tricky. So a flat surface, flat hard surface, and then 105 could work on this, so I'm gonna have to take apart the arm like that, place it like right here, and then use something else that's flat. 105 might do justice on this. Might. No, actually it pushes in. Yeah, it went in really well. See? But I could see how you're having trouble with it. I would say 105 could work a little bit smoother, but this works pretty good. As you can see, and then now you put this in like that. Voila. And now we have the one last part, which is the joint. I could see how it's like bulging out a little bit, and if your PLA is not in the best condition, if it's weathered or warped, I could see this breaking. So you could make that part, which is the frame, hip, shoulder, 105, okay? But it's working. I'll just leave. Oh, are we still live? I hope so. Oh yeah, it's right here. I was like, wait, I can't type anything. It's because my keyboard's right here. You could try for frame, hip, shoulder 105, right? Scaling 105. Current, your scaling works, but a tad tight. Okay, and let's see. Now we got one more piece to print, and maybe I'll do like a little bit of this during each part of my videos, right? Of my live stream, and by the end of the live stream, we'll do the giveaway of the Dummy 13. All right, so now we got one more piece to print. Now just think, how long does this take? That's just one arm. Yeah. Still got the rest of the body parts to go. And I'll upload. So if you do the math, right, that would mean, did I clean off the board? That would mean that, all right, 1 hour. We have 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and maybe 5 hours. I'm going to say 6 to 7 hours just to print the skeleton, right? And that doesn't include the armor. The armor might be a little bit less time because, oh, it's right here. A lot of the parts are hollow. Remember, it's an armor, so everything's going into it. So it's possible that the armor might take less time to print some parts. So yeah, you're looking at, wow, that's 6, Probably 14 hours. That's a long print job. It's a long time to wait for a dummy. No pun intended, get it? Long time to wait for a dummy. Yeah. Wow, wait. That would mean that 2, 4, 6, 8. Wow. I'm just counting hours. That means it would take 24 to 30 hours for each dummy to have completed, and I have almost, like, let's say I'm counting 2 because I'm being generous. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's over 100 hours for the dummies I have right here, and then the dummies that I printed for my kids, and then not to mention the hours put into configuring the dummies just to get them to print so that I knew the parts printed. That's like over maybe like 400 hours minimum to create an experience that's just right for you. But remember, it wasn't for you in the beginning, it was for me, but then I wanted to share it because I knew I wasn't the only one that had this problem. But no, I'm glad I'm able to help you guys, but I feel bad that it's not working for you, that the parts keep breaking, and I could see possibly why. If depending on your PLA, try 1.0, but it's working, but I can see how it's just, but it went in. Yeah. Remember, if you do 105, right? If you do 105 for the part I just mentioned, that means that you're gonna have to one moment please. This is 107. That means the frame clavicle has to be a 106, if that makes sense. And if the frame is a 106, then whatever part, see now, I'll show you, I'll explain it to you in a second, hold on. That means that chest, I have to find the STL file. The chest, see how the chest is? These little pieces go in. That means the chest might have to be a little bit smaller. So I would leave it as is. Leave it as is, because then it's going to mess up everything. Not everything, but just the parts that would go onto the neck, onto the arms. And what size is the chest? Let me see what size the chest is. Let's see. G code. Yeah, frame chest is 107, and the part that goes in is 107. So 107 is going to 107, where I said some parts of 107 can go into 107, which were these right here in the beginning, which was the arm, the hand, and the forearm. If you make it a 10, what did I say to make it? 105. Because the frame, hip, shoulder was originally 106. It could be tricky. You know what? Leave it as is. If it's breaking, it could be your PLA. But it's going to be tight, because remember, all the other parts are going to be, it's going to throw you off, and you're going to be like, what? No, this isn't working. And then you're just going to be, everything's already configured, it works, but it's pretty good if you ask me. It's a little snug, a little tight, but 105 is going to throw all the other pieces off. You could try it. Just remember, you're going to be scaling. You're going to have to be thinking about the numbers. If this is 105, then this is 106. If this is 106, then this has to be 107. Get it? So you're gonna have to reconfigure parts that have already been configured, so that it works just right for you. And that can be tricky because you're gonna have to learn how to think backwards and forwards in time when it comes to scaling. So forget I said that because I don't want to mess you up. But try it, and if you like that challenge, take that challenge. Just know that all the other parts on the frame, okay? Which is this part right here, okay? Because then remember, if I made this part smaller, the next part has to be smaller, which is a 107. Or sometimes 106, when you scale it smaller, 106 can't go into a 106. And that's the downside, where you don't get lucky. But look, I have a frame right here in gray, but I don't know what size it is, so I couldn't help you, and it wouldn't do justice for us. I could tell you by looking at it, it does look bigger, but I don't know what it's scaled at. Maybe I'll print the frame before I go to bed and come back on the next live show. Let's see. So here's this, the last and final piece, and this is a 107 going into this is frame, hip, shoulder, yeah. So but this part's bigger. Okay, so now this should go right in. It's a little tricky. See, it snaps, and that was a 107 going into a 106, but it worked really well. And as you can see, a little snug, a little tight, but we got it to work. Because remember, this is 107 because that's going to be bigger, and that's going to go into, I had it a second ago, this part right here, the frame. See that? Should fit. See? Voila. And then the rest of the body works its way around. Oh look, check it out. I got some parts right here. Ooh, sweet. And then all I got to do is print. Oh wow, look at that. I got part frame, print another hand, right? Maybe I'll just print another hand. Do I have any hands laying around? I might. Look, here's a head. Oh, a spare head. But I don't have the other parts to the head, so let's see what this one is. Oh, nice. I got a hand. The hand looks a little bit smaller. But let's see if we can be like, put this in. So you can see it's tricky. Oops, that's alright, we'll get that later. Actually, you know what? To do the hand parts, what we'll do is we'll take this apart. Sometimes you gotta take it apart and then pull them out, because this hand might be too small. Oh, it's so tricky. No, the hand's too small. Because it's a hand from probably one of my experimental pieces. But maybe I'll print another hand. Let's see which one. We have a left hand already. And now we just need a right hand. Let's see. Hold on. Now I gotta find one. Dummy 13. Actually, before I begin, hold on a second. This way they're both the same size. 107. Okay. So let's just take a hand. That would be right hand. So we'll just take an STL part. Hand. See, I have hand open left. That's probably why I didn't throw one up, because I only had left hands. See, left hand. And then we have hand grip, which is a left hand, but there's no right hand. See? All the STL files there. But on the GitHub repository, there's a right hand. Do we have it? Let's click new. Forgot where I got it from. I don't want to just go crazy looking for it. Your repositories. And go to dummy 13. See? Right hand. Even though there's one hand in there, I zip it because you don't want your STL files to become corrupt, because people can inject stuff into the files. So that's why it's zipped. See? There it is. Voila. See, that I don't know where they are, but these are all the hands here. Right hand's fist. Yeah, let's do a right hand fist, 108. It's already sized for you. And as you saw, 107 was a little tight, but it worked. So now, let's go to here, and it'll print faster. Close here, and we'll upload it. And then go to our downloads, right hand. I think remember G-code files are the ones that are print. Fist right. Yeah, we don't want open. Just do fist. I like to do one open and one closed. Okay. Alright, that takes care of that. And I think now we can put them back together, because I'll leave the window open. We could leave them put together, because if we're doing 108, it's not going to require a lot of pressure. See? Like that. Not as snug though, but this, right, goes like this, and it goes in, but it has to go in like that, and then put this in. This one's not as snug though, which is a little weird. Good difference. That's because it's a different size, different time that this was printed. Like, I think if I wanted this to print, I would have to do the joint. I would have to do the frame knee elbow so that it's tighter, which you can do, which I think I will do, because I don't want to. I wonder if I have another one laying around. No, I don't. Oh, I might. So I don't have to print it. Spare parts laying around. And you can combine them. They look really cool combined. So maybe I'll just take the part, if it fits too. Remember, it's got to fit. That's the other thing, because sometimes this looks smaller. Yeah, different scaling job. But it might. You never know. Let's pull it out. Maybe, if we're lucky. Looks a little smaller. Too small. A little small but tight. And then now we can put this in there. Yep. And then put the hand in. Oh, you can't see. Except this one looks like it's the armor, right? It has to go the other way. So sometimes it's not always what as it seems, because you see this has to come out because you have to reverse it because it's backwards. So you just take it apart and you just put the piece the other way so that this can go in like that. See? And so that his arm can move and be flexible like the other one. Oops, can't see. And be flexible and move around. And you can adjust them. And as you can see, voila. And then we just have to print his hand, which will be ready in 3 minutes. Then I'm going to bed. And maybe during the next live stream, we'll put Humpty Dumpty back together again and rebuild him in pieces. But yeah, it's working. So I'm not sure, it could be your stuff, but we got spare parts. Always save the spare parts though. Any part that doesn't break, as you can see, can be recycled into a new life, into the next robot that you build. These come in handy too, as you can see. They help with your soldering, but the only downside to these boards is that the soldering experience is going to be based on, your soldering tip, whether it's tinned correctly, your PCB board. You could have the best soldering iron, but if it's a crappy PCB board, it's going to be a botched job anyway, no matter how much. If you've seen any of my live streams, usually the really good PCB boards more heat can be applied numerous times, and desoldering really cheap stuff like this one had to be redone. This one's good though because I was able to redo it, but this one only allowed us to do a retake twice. On the second time, and the second time we had to create a botched job like it's somewhere. Sometimes I just can't find the parts, but it's here. Oh no, that's not it. Anyway, it was a botched job on a different one, but it's somewhere, nowhere to be found. Anyway, and sometimes you only get one take or two takes with the soldering iron before the PCB board becomes ruined. And that's why. But it's... Oh, I found it. So what happens is when too much heat gets applied, the soldering connections break, and so I had to rebuild the circuit board by jumping the wires. So as you can see, and because I had to I put the diode in wrong, and I used too much heat to desolder it. And the desoldering experience wasn't great on this PCB board, whereas in other boards like the Tesla coil, the video game that we built, was able to desolder easily. That's why it's always good to get the parts in right the first time, because you never know how the PCB board's going to be experiencing the desoldering experience. So that's why we do these projects, so you can practice on these before you work on your flight controller, because the flight controller can be $80 to $90, sometimes $100 depending on what you buy, and if you screw it up, you're screwed. Where thankfully I got them right. All right, so that piece is done, and then we're going to bed. What? I think I printed the wrong part. Ah, thought I uploaded it. Hold on. What happens when you're tired? Press refresh. Printable files. Yeah, 108. I don't know. Huh. Let's press print. Let me go back here. Frame fist hand 108. Oh, you can't preview it, but I'll be able to in a second once I load it in to Cura. So that's the only way to do it. But I think this is another way to save your G-code file so you can preview it without throwing it in to the app. See? Oh yeah, it is a hand. See? So one way to view it is this way, but another way to view your G-code file, to preview it without having it be an STL file, is to save it a certain way. I forget what it is, but we can try it in the meantime. Let's take an STL file, frame parts. Let's try hand, different hand, left hand. We're printing a right hand, but it doesn't matter whether it's left or right hand. Throw it into, well, let's quit Cura because there's already a hand in there, so we gotta clear the build plate. Alright, so then we're going to take the hand, throw it into Cura. Cura crashed. Oh, in case you're wondering where printed, this is not a hand. Another spare part. Alright. Hold on. Do a force quit. Looks like welcome back to everything that glitches. Killing me. Alright, that should work now. Again, remember we're trying to see if we can preview a G-code file by saving it a certain way. Okay, here's the hand. You can move your arrows to see what it is. Remember scaling, right? I think it's at 108, right? So go here, scale, uniform scaling, so that when I do 107 or 108, 108, or 109, so 108, that all the numbers adjust. See? The X, Y, and Z adjust, and as long as uniform scaling is selected. And I'm not downloading the latest version because I don't want my shit to start crashing. Slice it. Save to disk, 11 minutes to print. So this is where things get tricky. So we're going to try two different ways with desktop. And I believe, I guess G-code's the only way. Oh, I think it's 3MF. Hold on. We'll try G-code first. We'll try hand. Save it as hand. And then it'll be G-code, but I think it's a 3MF that's previewable. And then we'll go here. Desktop. See, there it is. No, not previewable. Let's try the other way. Remember, it's still an STL file, so we can still save it. It's the G-code that's not, once it's saved as a G-code or a 3MF, then you're pretty much stuck with it. Let's try like here, and we'll save it as 2 hand, right? Or second hand. Now if we go to desktop, nope, that didn't do it. So I guess only STL files. Let's try another way to save it. And then save to disk. That's it. Because anything else I'm not doing. That's a bummer. So weird. MakerBot. No, that's it. I guess only STL files are previewable. I thought this was, to be honest with you. I thought it was a 3MF or some sort of file. Let's see if I save it like that on the desktop. Nope. Bummer. It might have been at some point. I don't know. I'm deleting these now. I don't need them because remember they're already on the GitHub repository. All right. Let's see where it is. 65%. Let's see. This is the Beagle Print camera. I'll leave this in the description down below too. Go here. We'll do this in the meantime. Go to my channel. Let's see what we got here. Oh wait, what's that? Oops. Oh yeah. And then your channel. This is it. So if you want to have a printing experience like this, it's the Beagle camera. La, 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 la. Beagle Print. And then last but least will be how to print the dummy 13 STL file, STL files. There you go. And then now just go to the GitHub. Whoops, not there, but here, 91%. See if I can do it before the print job finishes. There we go. Go here, go there. Where are my notes? And then don't need a full stop there. Voila. Kind of neat, huh? And so everything that was talked about in this video, except I won't put it into the live stream. Or just leave as is. Worked pretty good. As is in the GitHub. Hope this helps. Let us know how it goes. And that's it. Finito. Let's see. Hopefully, if a hand printed right. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a hand right there. Sometimes that'll happen too. You'll just like accidentally print duplicate parts. See, it's nice. No, I wasn't talking to you. I was like, what? Like when you're in a room and then all of a sudden you hear a voice that's not yours. I'm like, what the fuck? That's Siri. I wasn't talking to her. All right. So as you can see, that was a 108. Okay. 108 should fit because the other one was, I think, smaller, right? Yep, it'll fit. I just gotta finagle this thing. Voila. See that? Pretty good. Except, yeah, it's yellow. You know, mixing them up makes it look good. But this one is, that's probably a 10 something, a 106. It could be 106 because the armor is a little loose. And that's why the GitHub repository is what you want to stick to, because we know it works, you know. But it'll be tight in some areas, and you can tell. What size is that hand? Let's see what size the hand is that we printed. 107. Frame hand open 107, and the one that we printed is a 108. 108. But sometimes the hands will look, one hand will look bigger, one hand will look smaller when it's the same size, because open, you know, just looks a little bit different. You know, I would probably do this hand in gray. Sometimes mixed colors look good, but oh, I do have a gray hand. Oh, I don't think it fit though, right? Maybe let's try it. Nah. Sometimes, yeah, I think it's bigger. Oh, but actually, didn't I just print a piece? Oh no, that was a different one. Let's see. You can't see, but that went in, and it should turn. But I don't know what size this is. That's the other thing. I can tell. Remember the joint I just replaced. So that's the other thing. The spare parts lying around are great, but if you don't know their size, it can make or break your robot, little dummy 13. But as you can see, works pretty good. It's pretty flexible, but it feels a little loose. It's not as snug as here. And I believe, oh yeah, you can tell just by looking at it that his arm's a little bit bigger. So it's a different size, but that's because he has armor on it. And sometimes armor on here, if I scale the arm, you might have to scale the armor too. That's why I said leave as is, because now if I scale the arm, made the arm part's a little smaller so that it will go in when I was pressing down on this part right here that comes out really easily, which is on the armor. Let's match it anyway, because I kind of like it if the colors are mixed. If we put that here, that part has to fit too, and that's scaled to size. So you see, it looks better mixed match too. I like that when you build them. Anyway, that's it for tonight. As you can see, the dummy 13 will take hours to print, but in the end it's rewarding. Spare parts lying around may come in handy as long as they're the same size, and if you don't know, you're just taking a lucky guess that could make or break the project. Okay, knowing that, moving forward, that's pretty much it. Just gonna make this a little bit bigger. That's that camera. That's that camera. And there it is. Just get rid of that. Whoops, get rid of that camera. Move this one there. And voila. Anyway, yeah. The end. Like I said, it's a live show. If you ask a question, I know how to answer it. I will make sure I can. And as you can see, the dummy 13 files do work. Why they're breaking, I don't know. It could be the PLA, it could be that particular experience. Remember, the flat part has to come out on the part that I pushed down, right? And the curved part goes in. Okay. But yeah, this is it. Check it out. Look at that. We only printed one arm in yellow, but it fit the previous frame that was printed. Excuse me. And that's it. Lights out. See, we're no longer on the air. Again, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below, or ideas for other videos. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. So remember, this video, the high wind velocity era will only be able to be experienced by those flying in manual mode. Good night and good luck, and let us know